First and foremost, it just revealed the kind of character that we have. The toughness, the relentless spirit, the flexibility.
It's over. The entire project is on the verge of a full-blown, catastrophic, system-wide collapse, and the people in charge are pouring gasoline on the fire while handing out matches to the arsonists. This isn't just about a game anymore, not by a long shot. This is about an open, hostile, and utterly undeniable rebellion brewing inside the WNBA. A civil war against its own salvation, its own golden ticket, its own last chance. Caitlin Clark. And now, this internal war has claimed its first public casualty, its first high-profile deserter. They've made a coach quit. Not quit her job. No, that would be too simple, too clean. They've forced a celebrated, successful head coach to quit on the fans, to quit on the public square, to quit on the very idea of accountability. All because the truth, the raw, unfiltered truth screamed by hundreds of thousands of new fans became too loud for the crumbling establishment to ignore. This is a code red, 5-alarm fire. This is a total system failure playing out in real time. And what we are witnessing is the public execution of common sense, broadcast live for the entire world to see. You are being actively lied to by the mainstream sports media, the so-called experts, who are financially incentivized to protect the league. They're feeding you pathetic, condescending lines, telling you this is just rookie treatment. They're trying to convince you this is just welcome to the league physicality. It is a disgusting, transparent lie. And the fans, the real people, the ones who are actually paying the bills for this league for the very first time in its struggling history, are screaming the truth from the digital rooftops. And their screams, their righteous outrage, have finally broken through the carefully constructed wall of silence and denial. Stephanie White, the head coach of the undefeated #1 in the league Connecticut Sun, just found out what happens when you participate in the league's dirty little secret and get caught. Her team, a very good team, played the Indiana Fever, and of course, they played Caitlin Clark with absurd, unnecessary, borderline dangerous physicality. It's the only game plan anyone seems to have against her. It's the unspoken league-wide memo. If you can't outskill her, then beat her up. If you can't outshoot her, then hip-check her into the third row. It's a strategy of thuggery over talent, but this time was different. This time, the reaction wasn't just a small trickle of complaints. It was a biblical flood. An absolute tidal wave of raw, unfiltered outrage from Caitlin Clark's fanbase. A fanbase that is now the WNBA's entire customer base. They are sick, and they are tired, of watching the league's single greatest asset get treated like a human piñata, game after game after game. Visual, a rapid, dizzying montage of social media comments flooding the screen. Show angry tweets, Instagram comments, and YouTube replies, all directed at Stephanie White and the Connecticut Sun's official accounts. Usernames are visible, messages are highlighted. Disgraceful. This isn't basketball. Protect your stars. The comments were brutal. They were relentless. They were absolutely unforgiving. Your team plays dirty basketball, and you should be ashamed. Is this basketball or a targeted assault? The league needs to investigate. You're just another hater, another coach filled with jealousy for a 22-year-old superstar who has more talent in her pinky than your entire team has combined. It went on for hours. A digital army of fans who see with perfect clarity what the league office, the players, and the media refuse to see. That they are actively trying to harm, to diminish, and to mentally and physically break the one person capable of making this league matter on a global scale. And what was the result of this public outcry? What happened when the truth was laid bare for all to see? Stephanie White couldn't take it. The pressure was too immense. The truth was too damaging. She deleted her X account. She quit. She ran away from the conversation. because she has no defense. She has no justification. There is no defense for what is happening. This isn't just a coach getting some mean tweets and deciding to log off. This is a foundational crack in the entire WNBA structure. A head coach, of an undefeated team no less, was publicly shamed and forced into digital hiding by the very fans her league desperately, pathetically needs to survive. This is a massive public vote of no confidence from the entire paying public. This is the audience rising up and telling the WNBA in no uncertain terms, "We see the conspiracy, we see the jealousy, we see the coordinated attacks, and we will not stand for it. We will not pay to watch you destroy your own product." Think about the terrifying message that sends throughout the entire organization. The league, the veteran players, the coaches they have, collectively created a toxic, hostile, and dangerous environment not just for Caitlin Clark on the court, but for anyone who is perceived as being part of the old guard that so clearly resents her. They've fostered a bitter us versus them mentality, and now it is blowing up in their faces in the most spectacular and public way imaginable. They really thought they could control the narrative. They thought they could send out their media mouthpieces at ESPN to spin this as normal, to gaslight the millions of new viewers. But they gravely underestimated the power of the people. They underestimated the raw, emotional, and financial investment that millions of new fans have in Caitlin Clark. This is no longer a simple sports issue. It is a full-blown cultural conflict. It's a rebellion against a fragile, insecure establishment that is so terrified of a transcendent superstar that it would rather tear the whole house down than admit she is bigger and more important than all of them combined. Visual: a slow-motion, high-definition clip of Chennedy Carter's flagrant foul on Clark, replaying over and over. Then, cut to a slow-motion clip of Tiasha Harris's dangerous hip check. Superimpose bold, red text over the images. This is not basketball. This is a targeted assault. Let's be absolutely, brutally, and painfully clear. What we are seeing on a nightly basis is not basketball. It's a coordinated campaign of physical intimidation, tacitly sanctioned by the deafening silence of the league office and actively enabled by the disgusting jealousy of veteran players who can't stand the fact that a rookie is getting all the attention they never could. They don't double-team her, they assault her. They don't box her out. They shove her to the floor when the refs aren't looking. And the referees? They are either complicit in this campaign, incompetent beyond belief, or have been given their marching orders from above. There is no other logical explanation. We've all seen it, day in and day out. The cheap shots, the off-ball shoves, the constant grabbing and holding, it is undeniable. It is a disgrace to the sport. And people like Stephanie White are the enablers. Her game plan, like every other coach's game plan this season, revolves around one central, pathetic idea: physically punish Caitlin Clark until she breaks. And when the fans, the paying customers, called her out on it, she couldn't face the music. She ran. She quit the conversation. That, right there, is an admission of guilt. It is the single most telling moment in this entire unfolding fiasco. It proves that they know what they're doing is wrong, that it's dirty, and that it's indefensible. They just never, in their wildest dreams, expected to be held accountable for it by a fan base this large and this passionate. They thought their little, insulated world was safe from the opinions of the masses. Well, the gates have been breached. The flood is here. And the financial consequences of this coordinated campaign of self-sabotage are going to be absolutely terrifying for everyone involved. Visual: a powerful split screen. On one side, a completely sold-out arena for an Indiana Fever game, with thousands of fans in Clark jerseys. On the other side, archival footage of a half-empty WNBA arena from a previous season, quiet and devoid of energy. Let us not forget the reality of this league just 6 months ago. The WNBA was, for all intents and purposes, a charity case. It was a league propped up by the NBA for decades, a financial black hole, bleeding money year after year, playing in front of friends, family, and a handful of dedicated fans. It was a niche product with zero mainstream appeal. Then, one woman arrived, Caitlin Clark. And overnight, she became a one-woman economic stimulus package for the entire dying organization. Ticket prices across the league are up over 200%. Viewership numbers are smashing all-time records, beating the NBA and NHL on some nights. Her jersey became the highest-selling draft pick jersey in the history of sports, for any sport, male or female, ever. She single-handedly generated so much revenue and attention that she forced the league to finally, after decades of complaints, approve charter flights for all teams. She is a one-woman economic miracle. Any sane business, any organization with a single shred of intelligence or a basic instinct for survival would wrap her in industrial-grade bubble wrap. They would mandate that referees protect her like she's a priceless national treasure. They would build every single marketing campaign, every TV spot, every social media post around her. They would make her the undisputed, unapologetic face of the league and dare anyone to challenge it. But what has the WNBA done? The exact, polar opposite. They have allowed their jealous, resentful players to use her as a nightly punching bag. The league's biggest names, the so-called veterans, instead of sending her gift baskets and thanking her for their newfound relevance and bigger paychecks, have gone on podcasts and interviews to diminish her, to complain about her, to fuel the flames of resentment. They are actively poisoning their own water supply out of pure, pathetic, unadulterated jealousy. It is the single most stunning, jaw-dropping act of institutional self-destruction in the history of modern sports. They were handed a winning lottery ticket worth billions of dollars, and they have collectively decided to light it on fire. Imagine for a second if the NBA in the 1980s had decided that Michael Jordan was getting too popular. Imagine if David Stern had allowed the bad boy Pistons' dirty, thuggish tactics to go unpunished and ultimately drive Jordan out of the league. The NBA would have died. It would be a forgotten footnote in sports history. That is the exact precipice the WNBA is standing on at this very moment. They are in their Michael Jordan moment, and they are actively choosing to be the Detroit Pistons. The entire league is filled with players, coaches, and executives who would rather rule over a kingdom of ashes than see a new queen rightfully take the throne. And the fans, the ones with the money and the power, see it all. I want to read you what you are saying, because the mainstream media won't. They're too cowardly. They're too afraid to anger their league partners. But your voices are the only thing that matters anymore. Visual. A series of full-screen tweets and YouTube comments appear, highlighted one by one for maximum emphasis. Here's a comment from user J, Hawks fan, 88. Stephanie White deleting her account is the ultimate proof. She coached the Fever last year. She knows what a generational star looks like. Now she's coaching an undefeated team, and her game plan is to have them assault Clark. She got called out and folded like a cheap suit. Cowardly. Here's another one from Sarah P., 22. It's a league-wide conspiracy, and it's not even hidden anymore. The vets are terrified of being replaced and forgotten. The WNBA is letting them get away with assault because the league office is weak and scared of its own players. And this one sums it all up, from Real Talk Sports Guy. If Adam Silver and the NBA Board of Governors don't step in and clean house at the WNBA, this league will be bankrupt in 3 years. You cannot market a superstar and then let the other employees beat her up on national television. It's an HR, PR, and financial nightmare of epic proportions. This is the truth. This is the raw, unfiltered reality that the WNBA league office is desperately trying to ignore. But you can't ignore a revolution. Stephanie White just found that out the hard way. Her quitting the public square is a symbol of the entire establishment's pathetic position. They have no answers. They have no justification. They have no logical defense. All they have is a desperate, flailing attempt to hold on to a sliver of power as the world changes completely around them. The longer they allow this grotesque spectacle to continue, the more permanent the damage becomes. Every cheap shot that goes uncalled, every jealous comment from a bitter veteran, every coach that implements a beat-her-up strategy chips away at the fragile foundation of this newfound success. Sponsors will not want to be associated with this chaos and dysfunction. Parents will not want their children looking up to players who act like bullies on the court. The casual fans, the millions upon millions that Caitlin Clark brought in, will get disgusted, and they will leave. And when they leave this time, they are never, ever coming back. They will leave behind a league that is more irrelevant, more of a joke, and more bankrupt than it was before she even arrived. That will be their legacy. The players and coaches who drove away the greatest thing that ever happened to them out of pure spite. It is a slow-motion suicide mission, and we are all witnesses. We are watching a league choose to die. It's a terrifying, humiliating, and completely avoidable disaster. And what's the alternative? A competent league. A league run by people who understand business. A league that understands marketing. A league that protects its most valuable assets. The blueprint is right there. Look at the NFL with its quarterbacks. You breathe too hard on a quarterback, you get a 5-yard penalty and a massive fine. Look at how the NBA cultivated its stars. They created rules to open up the floor for scorers to showcase their greatness. They understood that fans pay to see Michael Jordan, not to see him get mugged by Bill Laimbeer. The WNBA has actively rejected this proven model for success. They have chosen the path of chaos. They have chosen the path of resentment. They have chosen the path of self-immolation. And now, they must face the fiery consequences. This Stephanie White situation is the canary in the coal mine. It is the first public, undeniable sign that the establishment is cracking under the immense weight of the fans' outrage. They can't hide anymore. They can't pretend this isn't happening. We are watching. We have the receipts. We have the social media posts. We have the endless video clips. The evidence is overwhelming, and it is damning. This is a desperate, last-gasp attempt by a dying institution to cling to a past that nobody cared about, while simultaneously strangling the golden future that everyone wants to see. It cannot, and it will not stand. The collapse is coming if a dramatic, top-down change is not made, and made immediately. The commissioner needs to step in with an iron fist. Hefty fines need to be handed out for every single dirty play. Suspensions need to happen. A clear, unambiguous, and public message needs to be sent to every player and every coach. Caitlin Clark is the future, and if you stand in her way, if you try to harm her, you will be removed. Anything less is a declaration of war on the fans, on progress, and on the very survival of their league. So, I'm asking you, directly, what do you see when you watch these games? Do you see tough, hard-nosed defense? Or do you see a targeted, coordinated campaign of physical and psychological intimidation? Do you see a coach deleting her social media as a random act of self-care? Or do you see it for what it is, a panicked admission of guilt in the face of overwhelming public pressure? The battle lines have been drawn. The mainstream media will not tell you the truth. The league will not admit what's happening. It's up to us. It's up to the fans who are actually paying attention and keeping this league afloat. Let me know in the comments right now, because your voice matters more than ever. Are you standing with Caitlin Clark and the future of sports? Or are you siding with the crumbling, jealous, and self-destructive establishment that is desperately trying to tear her down before she can even get started? The choice is yours. This is a defining moment, and the whole world is watching to see who wins.